Better Call Saul, Season 4, Episode 13, TV Talk, brought to you by Six Pack Cinema, which is a podcast which does movie reviews and Hollywood headlines. Go check that out if you want. Individual episodes, though, I'm going to start doing them here. TV Talk on this YouTube channel. I already did an FX show called Snowfall. Now I'm doing Better Call Saul. And here we go. Recap, review. Recap. We're going to split it up by storyline. The first storyline we had was Nacho, who's running things out of the restaurant, sitting in back while his buddy sits in front. They talk to him, then he talks. We've seen this setup before. We've seen how it goes. He used to be up front. Guy's late on his payment. He's going to get by. Nacho knows that he cannot let him get by. He's got to do something. So he rips his earring off, draws some blood, immediately gives him napkins because I don't think this life's really for him. We see him go home. He's got two crackhead girls just sitting around doing nothing in his fancy-ass house, or looks like a big house. Puts the money in the safe, takes out pictures of his old life, and I think he kind of doesn't want to be doing what he's doing anymore. And misses his old life. He's in over his head. He's got his friends shot. He's working for other people now. He's realized he's not the boss. It's like tough, shitty times for him. And at the end, we see that he comes into the restaurant and that someone else is there. And in a very telling scene, he's like, here, try this. Try this food I made for you. You're going to die. Which is like, you're going to love it so much you're going to die. I think he means something else there. And then we see that dude take Nacho's spot at the back table of the person in charge. So Nacho has been walked out, replaced. I think it's going to make him angry because obviously, but I think he's going to have to really figure out, does he even care? Because I think part of him thinks, I don't care. I don't really like doing this anymore. Blah, blah, blah. It's not for me, but we'll see. So that was quick. The other side storyline we have is Mike and the tunnel and the Germans, and they sit at the bar together and they say, oh, I built the Sydney Opera House, or my dad built the Sydney Opera House. I love building. This German dude's a good guy. He's just a nerd, and he gets drunk, and he's got loose lips, and he writes up the plans of the building with some guys at the bar, and Mike has to let him know, like, yo, dude, what the fuck was that? You can't do that. It's like, oh, they won't remember that. Mike says they won't remember. They won't remember that. Mike says they won't remember the German nationalists who talked to them about a secret building and tunnels with schematics and themes. Come on.
The German national in the middle of Albuquerque talking about pouring hundreds of tons of concrete at a secret underground location.
Yeah, you were right.
Later on, you see an update with Gus, Gus says, like, is he a problem? And Mike says, no, I have it under control. Mike knows exactly what he's doing. He knows that this is the life for him. He knows all that. Mike is the most under control person in this whole series, I think we've come to find. So Gus agrees with him. The other thing is there was another guy, the troublemaker German, got kicked out of the strip club for causing a scene. I'm not sure I don't really remember this kind of instant reaction. I don't really remember if they touched on that. They're going to kill that guy. I think Mike has to let him know. Like, I think Mike kind of let him know, like, yo, one of you is going to die if this stays. The main storyline of this episode I loved because this is kind of what Saul Goodman is at his core, which is what we're finding. So they open it up and they show that he's on a bus and he's just writing letters in tons of different handwriting, changing his grip, changing the marker, changing the thing. Just on a bus writing tons. We have no idea where he's going. We have no idea what he's doing. He's just traveling across country. Then he enlists people. He pays them to write letters for them. He wants them to be sad. He wants them to have a specific tone. He's making friends on the bus. You know how it goes. Gets off the bus to reveal that he is in somewhere. Going to a post office in Coushatta. I don't know if you're pronouncing that right. Louisiana. And I was thinking, the whole time I was like, well, all these letters, he can't just dump them from the same post office. That'll be very obvious. That'll ruin the whole scheme. Well, when we find out what the entire scheme was, you figure out that is exactly what they wanted to do. Meanwhile, his laundromat lady says, you got problems with your wife. He's just like, he's not my wife, and I think we're past that. So as a viewer, we're thinking, man, it's really going to be the end for Kim and Jimmy because we've seen, they did the montage last episode. It's like, oh shit, they're really on the brakes. That's sad. Kim goes in to talk. She's trying to get Huel off, and she bargains with her, and the lady denies anything. She's like, we're not budging at all. So she backed herself into a corner because Kim knew that The bag of tricks we were going to find out is they acted like Huel was a Christian do-gooder, best guy ever. They had fake phone calls from wherever. So if you call up and they had it, they did the internet thing, which is a shout out back to Breaking Bad when they make the Walter White Foundation to launder money through. He's got his art student people there doing voices and shit. This is a fun, slick Jimmy scheme. And this is what it's interesting because he's this loyal to Huel. Why does he care this much about Huel? He's going to go to jail for 6 months and he is a petty criminal and they're going through this much trouble just to get him down. Is that loyalty? Yeah, kind of. But I think it's more so that Jimmy or Saul just loves doing this shit and thrives at it. He's so good at these slick, weird campaign type things that are ploys or tricks and really intense, like a Rube Goldberg machine just to get Huel off. He's so good at these. This is what he's like put on earth to do. So is it loyalty or those? But both those actions speak more to his criminal lawyer than his actual lawyering. It works, and Kim loves it. Makes out with him in the staircase. Loves it. Absolutely loves it. They're sleeping together. They're like, we haven't seen them kiss or be romantic in so long. They're actually happy and fanatic. It's awesome. That was pretty cool. Then Kim's boss says, hey, I got this. It's a big ask. I need to ask. He says, can you pull a rabbit out of a hat again for us? And she says no, because it's impossible. But she picks up this thing, right? And it's got a bunch of different colored pencils on it, it looks like, which immediately reminds her of all the different letters, which thinks, maybe I can now have Jimmy help me do a little trickery, illegal activity to get this deal for my boss. And that's how the episode ends. Throwback to when season 1, when they're smoking in the parking lot stairwell when he was like a copy boy and she was at the law firm. That's what this shot was a reminder of. But now they're back to being in love and making things again and schemes. And so where does this lead us? Because we know that she's not in his life by the time we see him in Breaking Bad. So we thought that she was going to move away because he's doing criminal activity and she was going to be like, I can't do this anymore. But now it seems like he might drag her down into it and she gets in trouble. And that's how she's out of the picture. Interesting. Either way, we know that some sort of sad breakup or split is happening between these two. I thought this episode was fun. The building with Gus and Mike, that was nothing. And even the nacho thing was kind of nothing. He's going to get phased out. It opens itself up to a bigger storyline in the coming episodes. Same with the German tunnels stuff. But this episode was, and that's why it's called Coushatta, was the trick, the Louisiana thing. And that is what Better Call Saul, what Saul Goodman is all about. Tricks and gimmicks and ploys and deception, shit like that. So that's why I think it was a good, fun episode. I enjoyed it. This was TV Talks, Six Pack Cinema recap, review, live thoughts, and reaction to episodes of TV show. I'm out. See ya.